change
in the neighborhood. The piano ain't on.
We should totally make like an intro song too.
So, yeah, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of you. You know,
No problem at all.
extremely sorry I didn't get to make it out the other day.
Oh no, that's all good.
I wanted to bad too, because I'm not gonna lie, it's something I'm a little nervous about. I'm a little nervous about it all.
Oh yeah,
should be.
But I mean, we're cock rocked and rolling right now. Why don't you take a second to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Brian Longden. I'm with Underworld Ghost Hunters. I've been doing the ghost hunting for probably 3-4 years now, and I don't know. It's not for everybody, I guess I could say. You know.
Ain't for me.
I'm glad you called it Ghost Hunters, because I was gonna ask how do you define what you do?
Yeah,
you
some
know,
people are weird with it. You know, I've met like paranormal investigators. They're like, oh,
that's what they call
ghost
it.
hunters. You know, yeah, and they like look down on it. But either way, you know, I'm not like professional with it like that. You know, I'm not gonna stick to people with their terms and all that same stuff. You know, some people go out, they just try to see if they can get anything to see if it's real, and then like me and my buddy go out, and a lot of times we try to like to help the lost and trapped spirits in places.
Okay.
You know, like Split Rock Quarry, 50 people died in an explosion from munitions. So if you go there and you know it's so sudden and like quick that there's like trapped, lost, and I'm not sure what's going on, and you know we'll go right in and try to help them out, give them what kind of answers you know they're looking for, or anything we can do to try to help them pass on. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, 'cause my interest kind of peaks on more of just the reality of the sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
not that I have any doubt,
Yeah.
but it's just more I've never seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I haven't seen it, and so I'm glad you named one of the locations. I'm gonna ask you a few locations that you like.
Yeah.
Maybe you like to go that for some reason, but so you like to do it for, you know, like.
I do it for both, really. I like to go out, you know, we almost do it almost every night now, you know. We go right out to all the local places around here, you know, and then you can rent out bigger locations that have been like all the popular paranormal shows.
Okay.
You know, like Rolling Hills Asylum, Hinsdale House, all sorts of, you know, off the chain haunted places.
And you got to rent to use those stuff?
Yeah. We just went to Rolling Hills 2 weeks ago, and it was more of like a public ghost hunt. So you can book it for 8 hours, and you'll go in from 8 at night till 4 in the morning.
Now, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Now, how often do you run into, you know, other spiritual investigators, other ghost hunters?
Quite a bit. If you book it for yourself, it's nice because you got the whole property. You don't got to worry about anyone coming in or anything. But like at Split Rock Quarry, you get a bunch of, they're either paranormal investigators that'll come up, or they're kids that are roaming around, you know, just checking the place out in the crusher.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But like a lot of the place, it's actually a big field. You know, you'd be surprised how big it is and how many people are out there, you know, doing it.
Jeez, my tits
Like
are
it's-
on here.
What's that?
I was just making sure she was recording everything. Will you check that camera for me real quick, Carla? Just make sure she's recording too. Sorry, I'm still getting new to all this
that's good,
myself, man.
Yep.
So
I hear this is my first podcast.
yeah. I appreciate it, man. He came up with the ideas like, yo, you gotta get. He's been telling me a lot about it.
Yeah.
And he's the worst person to tell about anything, especially like spiritual, natural, or like, you know,
Yeah.
otherworldliness, because he's just
You're not wrong.
the biggest. See, he's a bullshitter, but he's also a truth teller.
Yeah, and sometimes you're like trying to figure out which one.
You gotta pick and choose me.
Yeah.
You gotta pick and choose.
You got to take it with a grain of salt. So, but I mean,
don't fuck around when it comes to ghosts.
and then Bakes, for some reason, is more reputable in my opinion. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I just don't see him bullshitting me like him. So he's even said that it's y'all seen some spooky things,
Yeah.
man. Some spooky.
It's funny because I met these guys fishing over the summer, and like we were down at the ditch bank, and I'd show up and have like my spirit box or something, and they're all like, run it. And then as it progressed, they just started coming out with me every day pretty much now, like 3 or 4 times a day.
It's a high.
So the spirit box is one of the things you got. What's some of the equipment you use?
Yeah, I actually brought a couple things with me.
Okay. Oh, you actually got them on.
Yeah, you use different spirit boxes. Like this one, this is the SB7.
I expected it to be bigger. I pictured it this big for some reason.
Yeah, well, some of the things are. Like I built this portal device that this hooks
Portal's
up
no
to,
joke.
and it's built right into a case. And
Okay.
it's the same thing, and pretty much a bunch of like reverb and noise cancellation pedals to like get the static completely out of it. Yeah, I got that. And this is your basic digital recorder.
Okay, yeah.
Just from anything, yeah. And you'll capture all sorts of stuff on that just running it by itself with no other paranormal gear going.
Really?
Yeah, you'll capture whispers and all sorts of stuff, growls,
See, I've been trying to stop sleeping with the TV on because I had a buddy told me that if you sleep with the TV on, you get ghosts in your dreams.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've never heard of that, I guess.
And there's so many different like how could I say it, like I don't want to call it an opinion, but people think that it's like this is what happens with supernaturalness. You know what I'm saying? Like him, he said, you sleep with the TV on, you'll get ghosts in your dreams. Like that's a bit of a superstition, I guess you could say, to where this seems way more official. Now, what's this?
That's the same thing. It's another version of a spirit box. It's an old Radio Shack radio, and it's made to sweep the stations at like half a second sweeps, intervals. So if when you hear long sentences come through, that's sweeping across multiple channels. So like ideally, if it was coming across a radio station and it's sweeping that fast, you would hear like
I've dialed through stations before.
Same thing, but like on those you'll capture long sentences. Most of the time now when we go out, they're saying my name like 10 times a night at least,
which is pretty wild.
All sorts. The other night they told me I was going to hell.
Really?
Yeah, they've been getting pretty bad lately.
Be sure you're going to hell just like that.
Yeah, they've been getting pretty bad lately.
Now, do you worry that like you diving into this spiritual realm has affected your afterlife per se?
I don't know. Not really. I try to go into these places viewing like God's with me, He's protecting me, especially since we go out and try to help these trapped spirits and pass them on and stuff. So.
Yeah, you're not going in with malicious intentions.
Yeah, exactly. And we're kind of like doing the good deed.
And let's be real. If I was a ghost, I'd be fucking with you too.
Yeah,
I'd be like, you're going herpes.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure. They mess with me all the time. Lately, just last night they messed with him quite a bit. We went.
Oh yeah.
Erie Canal Village out in Rome. It's got like 15 old buildings there. It used to be like public tours and museums and everything. There's blacksmith shop, cheese museum, all sorts of little cottage houses, a tavern, a brothel, train station, all sorts of buildings there you go into. And each building has its own feeling, own spirits deal.
Some places are not original though. Some places were moved to this place
from other locations. They moved the buildings all to this one place. There's like a couple original houses on the property. But they moved like all the blacksmith shops, stables, all sorts of stuff there, and you.
So I'm confused what you mean they moved it there. Like it was originally like this building was in another location, and they literally just picked the whole.
They picked the whole building up and moved it on site, which is crazy to think of because if you go there, like especially now, you walk into the village, it's like you're walking back into time. There's old railroad tracks, there's the old lanterns along the dirt roads.
Now, I do believe spirits can be held into an individual house, but do you think it's the walls that hold it, or is the more like latitude, longitude that holds them?
I think it's just what happened to them is what's
more
holding them there, and it's like not necessarily.
It's too vague to say.
Yeah, and it's like it's not necessarily that they can't leave. They might be able to leave for a little bit, maybe. They see one of us, they might try to attach onto you to get out. But most of the time, if they're trapped there, they're going to end up going right back. It all depends if they got, if they died a horrible death or something's unsettled and they, in my opinion, you have a choice to either like linger around as a spirit or you can pass on and accept, what happened and all that. And a lot of spirits just get caught in like a limbo mode,
I can see that.
And then there's, a lot of them haven't lived at all. A lot of them aren't human spirits. A lot of them are evil demons and stuff that's never, seen human life, felt any human emotion or anything like that. It's crazy. It's a whole new ballpark, you know, especially lately what we've been getting into.
Now back to the equipment. Now, did you purchase this as a spirit box, or is this something you modified?
Yeah, that's been modified, but I purchased it as a spirit box.
Okay.
Those are actually really rare. If you're familiar with Ghost Adventures, their designer, Bill Chappell, designs like a lot of equipment, and he was the first one to ever hack one of those into a spirit box.
Okay.
So it's more of like a shack hack. Like this is an actual spirit box, so when I run this, you'll hear static, like.
So this was originally built and designed for
as
the
a spirit
Oh
box.
yeah, and even says spirit box right on it. Okay, see, because that's why I was looking at this. I'm like,
this was originally just a regular like Walkman radio that you would just tune
Yeah.
onto. Yep, and they, you go right in, you cut wires around, you start making them sweep like that, and that's all it is, you know.
Yeah, it's just.
But when you get something that's like ironic or just has to do with what you're doing, you know.
It's funny because as a kid, I used to kind of like, I would go fast through radio stations trying to make out sentences like that.
Wow.
So it's
Yeah.
I've always had a respect for the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a white girl when it comes to spirituality. Like I like to say I believe in belief.
Mm-hmm.
So irrelevant to my perception of what I see in life, you know, like I'm not really any way for Christianity, Muslim, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I believe if they truly believe that that's what's going to happen to them,
Yep.
I believe that's what's going to happen to them. I believe it's a similar basis of like manifestation and like.
It's all on everyone's personal beliefs, you know.
Yeah.
And same thing, I have tons of people that come up to me and, you know, the ghosts aren't real. And I just say, I'm like, I hope one day you have the experience to change your mind, you know.
Yeah, I feel like people's certainty is so toxic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how could you, like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you had disbelief, how could you be so certain? Like,
you haven't even given it a shot.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I have a couple buddies too that are like skeptical, and they'll go out, and when we're out places, they're losing their minds because stuff's happening. And then the next day I talk to them and they're like, oh, I don't really know, you know, they're hemming and hawing on what happened. And I'm like, are you just like hesitant because stuff was messing with you, you don't want it to continue, or are you really like skeptical on what was happening, you know? We have a new guy, Kyle, that just joined our team, and we came across him on Facebook, and he's a complete skeptic, doesn't believe in any of it. And my buddy Mike took him up to Split Rock, and we were running this Radio Shack spirit box. And it was middle of the day, just showing him the ropes, you know, that's it. And he had his dog with him, a German Shepherd. So we're sitting there running it, and my buddy asks, he's like, do you see the dog? And the girl comes through the spirit box, and she's like, what's her name? And my buddy Kyle's like, his name's Bane. And Bane's like a really unique name. And it comes right through, and it's like, Bane? You know, like asking. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And like that for him's eye-opening. And then it said his wife's name right after. So, but like, he's always been skeptical. And then last night we went to the train station at the Erie Canal Village. We were all there. And almost 3 o'clock in the morning, we're getting ready to head out. But we're like, we'll go back there because nothing happened to him all night. Like, throughout the whole night, everyone was getting affected by different stuff. We all saw shadow people, you know, just the craziest thing. Craziest stuff. And the one guy on our team that's a skeptic, just nothing was happening for him. So we're like, let's go back to the train station because a lot was going down there. We walk in there and we're running the spirit box, and I ask him, like, can you please give him a sign that you're here? You know, do something, touch him, anything. Sitting there for like a minute or two, nothing happens. And then he says, he's like, yeah, show me you're here. And we're in the pitch black. Like, my infrareds make it look like your room's like completely lit up like it is now. But
Yeah, I've seen like
infrared
infrared
it's pitch black. And all of a sudden you just hear him hit the ground hard. So everyone's like shining flash, like, you okay? And he swears that his knee got kicked out last night. Like, he was just standing up and something kicked the back of his leg, and he dropped on the ground hard. I thought he was hurt, and I thought maybe he was like walking forward and like tripped over something, but there was nothing there, and he was standing still. So it was like, it's crazy. And I asked him this morning, he was like kind of dismissive of it. And on my way here, he messaged me saying he's going to the hospital tomorrow because the whole back of his knee is all swollen up.
That's crazy, man.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's going to come out with us too much more, you know, because as we've brought him out, he's less and less skeptical on it. And now I'm like, you pretty much got a physical attack.
I mean,
You know?
and I feel like he might have had to, like, from the sounds of it, let it in himself.
Yeah.
You know, you got
As soon
it.
as you drop that little bit of guard, because that's what I say. A lot of people that don't believe you go in with such a strong mindset. It's like you're almost like you're shielded from it.
I don't know if you've ever experienced with hallucinogenics at all, but it has a similar field. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen people completely mentally block out some of the most powerful hallucinogenics ever possible,
Yeah.
just because of doubt.
Yep.
And it's like, all right,
It's like, this isn't gonna work, and bam, you
yeah.
know.
I've
like,
done it myself.
Yep.
I've psyched myself, but like to where like it, it's not actually there. To where, again, that's where I come in my belief of belief.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yep.
like,
Yeah, like I said, everyone has their own beliefs. My other buddy, Ryan went out with us last night too. We were in this old schoolhouse that hasn't been gone in about 10 years. And he's sitting in the back row with a camera, and it's all old student tests. That's it. He's sitting in the back, and my buddy Ron, he's with Ghost Hunters Extraordinaire. His wife comes out with us too, and like 2 times she says she sees shadows in the schoolhouse, and I didn't see anything. The 3rd time she says she sees a shadow, I look behind my buddy Ryan, who's in the back of the schoolhouse, and I see like a shoulder. There's a window on the right side of the schoolhouse, and there's background light coming in, and it's on the back of him, like on the back wall. And I see so she's like, I see a shadow, and I look behind him, and I see like the shoulder like blocking out the light, and it slowly moves behind him. So I'm like, oh my God, because I seen it with my own eyes. And then 2 seconds later, it pops up in like the light of the window as a full body apparition.
whole silhouette.
You can see its arms.
Crazy.
You see the gaps between its arms. It's just sitting there, standing. And we all lost our mind. My buddy Ryan's sitting in the back. He's not even reacting to this. And we're like, it's right behind him, And I go up and I like tap him, like, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, what the hell was going on with you? Were you zoned out? Were you sleeping? Like, if that was me and I was sitting there and I heard there's all sorts of shadow people moving behind my back, I'd be getting up.
you take a turn. You're at least gonna be like, what?
He didn't do anything.
didn't
He was
move.
just
Feel like he was kind of like somewhat,
Possessed.
really.
influenced. Yeah, I think whatever was just
Feeding off of them.
feeding off of them, and it was the craziest thing because I've seen like different shadows and stuff, but just to see it as clear as we seen it last night, it was like mind blowing to me.
He's a skeptic too. Ryan is.
Yeah, he's a skeptic. I brought him to the Hinsdale House, Rolling Hills, all sorts of places, and every time I bring him, something happens, and then he goes home and he's like, I don't know,
That's weird, and I wonder if it's like, I guess it's probably just denial. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We all do a lot of shit like.
That's pretty much what it is. We went in the basement of this Hinsdale house, and he had a cross necklace on, and it fell off, and he told me, he's like, oh, it came unclipped, And then,
yeah, I wear chains,
It came-
dog. My
yeah.
chain has never just been like.
that's what I said, it came unclipped, and then I looked at the necklace like a week later, and there's not even a damn clip on the necklace. It like broke off of
It's
him.
literally like what you can like just do this.
Just that. There's not even a clip on it, and it broke right off of him in the basement of the house. And my other buddy Josh, my roommate, he's actually was there too, and he's like, not much happened. And when you go over your cameras will capture EVPs and whispers and all that. Like, I'm sure people on average, like people filming birthday parties and all that, if you were to really listen, and you'd probably capture whispers and all sorts of stuff that you won't hear with your normal ear.
Yeah, we're probably, I keep these running all the time. There's probably a bunch of shit that I pick up that I don't even register.
Yeah. And my buddy was just sitting in that basement of that Hinsdale house, and and he told me, he's like, oh, nothing ever happened and all this. And as I was going over the footage, I had something to come up to my camera, and it's like, close your eyes, like that. And he was the only one down in the basement, so I played it right for him. Like, see, stuff was happening when you were down there. You can't hear it with your own ears. Sometimes you do. You'll get whispers, or you'll hear a scream from somewhere.
Now I wonder if that's strength from the apparition. How would I say that? Am I saying that right?
Apparition, yep.
I wonder if it's strength from that, from the spirit, or if it's the individual.
Yeah. Well, it's probably both, really.
Yeah.
And like my buddy, he's the lead investigator of our team, Michael Corbett. He was saying last night, chances are a lot of these human spirits that have lived, they're not too powerful unless they're like really vengeful. They don't have much power, but these demons and stuff that are out there, they're the ones that'll move shit and all that.
It's crazy how much power negativity has, and even in that sense,
It is. As of lately at my house, I had a camera battery on a charger sitting on the corner of my table, and I had Bakes with me. He was sitting on the couch at my house, and he was on the phone. I'm just sitting there. I'm staring right at the table, and I was telling him about this house they were going to where this lady's having a bunch of poltergeist stuff happening, like overnight when she's sleeping and all this. So I tell him about it. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So I tell him about that, and as I'm talking to him, he's on the phone, and I look over at my thing, and my camera battery goes right off the table, like 3 feet. And I would just happen to be staring at the table at the time, I wasn't expecting anything to happen at all. And Bakes looks at me. He's on the phone. And he looks over at me and he's like, "You got a cat in here?" And I'm like, "No, man. There's no animals in this room at all." I'm like, "That's the first poltergeist that I've ever had happen in my whole time of ever doing anything, you know." And it was cool that he was there to actually like witness it, you know.
I have a lot of strange shit that happens to me that I blame the universe for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't blame the actual physical earth for it. I blame whatever shit that happened. I've smoked DMT before, and I've seen it in like a lot of people don't like. I feel like a lot of interpret like acid and mushrooms as like when you hallucinate on that, you see things that aren't there. Like a lot of movies make that. The only time I've ever taken a drug that made me see a completely different, what was in front of my face was DMT, and I went to a realm of complete like unexplained it. And I'm assuming that I never left or went anywhere. I just saw a different
reality.
Yeah, like just through a prism, like it's the way light spectrum hits a prism and it creates a rainbow. Like I was able to see, I don't know.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
I hate to use that as a comparison. That's my only
it's completely real. Just like, I understand that 100%.
I was completely atheist prior to smoking DMT.
Mm-hmm.
And then after smoking DMT, I mean, I feel like I have more of like an agnostic pagan perception on shit.
Oh, that's awesome, though. Kind of opened your eyes up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It made me realize that there's a possibility of outside of my perception.
Mm-hmm.
It really broke to where it's like what I see ain't shit. It made me – I was very narcissistic. It made me believe in other people as like what they do and shit.
Yeah.
And how they feel in general. Like I was just like technically – I knew other people felt, but I'm like only I can feel what I feel, so let's just put that shit on the back burner.
Yep. No, I've never done DMT or anything, but I've done mushrooms, so I understand that people blow it out of proportion, and it's not really anything more than like a good weed buzz. Obviously it's a little more escalated, but it's not anything serious like that.
I've never seen things that weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of bends my perception on the universe to where like things. I believe you're kind of almost zooming in on the atoms.
Yeah.
Because, everything's constantly, even a solid's full of atoms that are continuously moving.
Yep.
And I think you can just grasp it a little bit more.
You're seeing almost like comparison to the spiritual world,
Yeah.
Pretty much everything we can't see with our eyes, can't see with our ears, there's a whole nother... I'm a firm believer in that. There's a whole nother world going on our world that we can't see. A whole nother reality.
I agree 100%. I believe that there's a heaven and hell in this room right now.
Yep.
And it's just like, rather you can bend into it or not. I don't think, obviously as a human, you're forced to perceive Earth, and then as a demon or angel or whatever. I hate using those terms. I feel like
angel and demon.
Even just like 9 out of 10 spiritual terms, just I'm not a fan of, because I just feel like they're so cliche or have some sort of stigma behind them.
Yeah. Yep. No, I understand that 100%. I don't know. The way I put it is good energy or bad energy, and if it's most of the time it ends up being bad energy. A lot of the times you're talking stuff that's negative, and when it comes across not negative, chances are it's something negative that's just trying to get to you or trying to get you to warm up to it.
I feel like a positive energy wouldn't even let itself be known.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's there. It does what it's supposed to. It's I guess in my perception,
kind of because a lot of the times when you do the spiritual stuff, it's like from an accident or something bad that's happened. So a lot of times it is bad. That Rolling Hills Asylum I go to used to be an insane asylum. It was a poorhouse, a TB hospital, all this stuff. And there was a guy, Roy, that suffered from giantism from Syracuse. He got dropped off there. He was like 7'6". This is back in, I want to say like the 50s or so, or it might even been before that. And his dad dropped him off because he suffered from giantism and thought he was like kind of like a freak of nature deal. And he lived 50 years there. He was like wicked intelligent, read all sorts of books, very friendly with everyone there, and he passed away in the building. And a lot of times now when you go investigate, people capture photos of him, a big giant in doorways and rooms. I firmly believe I talked to him through a spirit box session there with my buddy Bob and Ryan. We just asked him, asked him if he was here, and he's like, absolutely. And we're like, is there anything else you need to say or you want to say? And he's like, everybody's happy. And when he said everybody's happy, the whole room of us just like, almost to like a point where you were going to cry tears of joy, because like he must have been like using our energy or emotions, but when he said it, it's like we all had like tears of joy. We're like, yeah, we are happy. We're talking to you, you know. Just like the feeling. It's hard to describe, you know, but people capture him a lot there. He's got his own, they kept all the rooms original, so he's got his own bookshelf, this huge, massive stool and chair for him to sit in. And
so, I mean, and that seems like a positive.
Yeah, that's
like I think homie just is there because he liked
the place. Yeah. So that's like, and there's a lot of the times there's not cases of that, you know, in my opinion. I'm sure there are a lot more cases, you know, people build their houses and they're like, oh, this is my home, you know, I don't want to leave it.
Now, do you believe that you've helped any spirits in your journey of doing this?
I have, yes.
You really do?
Between me and my buddy Mike, who started getting me into it. The other night we were in Split Rock Quarry, and I was like telling him, you know, any evil spirits or any trapped spirits or lost spirits, you know, it's okay. You can pass on, you know. I'm like, Jesus will take you in. And I was like, in the name of Jesus Christ, go to the light. And when I said it, I had these REM pods, and they'll detect your energy. So if you go up and put your hand around the antenna, it's going to go off a little bit, and then as you get closer or grab the antenna, it's going to spike. So the only way for
what does it do? Create a light or a sound?
Both. There's like,
is it like a theremin kind of?
It's like so there's like I should have brought one of them, but it's like a pentagon shape, and there's 4 lights on the top with an antenna. And as you get closer, like one of the lights will start to go off, and the sound will be like quiet. And then as you get closer, it'll escalate. More will go on, more sound will come out until it's like you grab right hold of it, and it's like beep, and all the lights are light up.
Do you know what a theremin is?
No.
It's an instrument actually.
Oh really?
And it's and honestly, I feel like it might help you guys in some way, but it's like 2 metal rods that you play with by the frequency of your hands, and they make like almost like a UFO, like a.
I've never heard of them.
And it goes by like the energy in your hand. It's like a magnetic field thing, but.
Reminds me of like the dowsing rods.
You know what I'm talking about with a theremin, right?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it just makes more of a beep.
Yeah, it's a clear beep, pretty much. But yeah, it was like, you know, in the name of Jesus Christ, go to the light. And we had the whole tunnel at Split Rock lasered with these REM pods, and the one down right by my spirit box, like, whee, goes off like crazy. We were all losing our minds. And then
it was too coincidental, I'm assuming, right?
Everything's a coincidence. Can't believe in a coincidence.
Can't. There's no such thing.
The other day I leave, the night before yesterday, I leave Erie Canal Village. I've been there the past 3 nights investigating, trying to see if maybe the more I told them, like, I'm going to be here 3 nights in a row, you know, come up to me, maybe they'll warm up to me and stuff. Well, the night before yesterday, I leave, and I'm like, you know, let's go to McDonald's and grab a bite to eat quick. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And we pull in the drive-thru and pull up behind the car, and the license plate's Ghost with some numbers. And I'm like, what are the chances of that? We come up here, this person in front of us license plate says Ghost on it. And then another time when I left the Hinsdale house, I went to Dunkin' Donuts and grabbed a coffee, and my order number was 666. And I'm like, these, you know, just all sorts of weird coincidences, especially when I'm paranormal investigating or hunting, and then I go out and something like that happens right after it. You know?
No, I see a lot of universal signals that are very similar to that. I don't believe in any coincidence.
Yeah.
It's like we're all put here for some weird reason. Like the fact that we can even have sentience is insanity.
Yep.
It's just crazy to me. So you told me you've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So why'd you start?
Not this story.
I need this story. The people need this story.
I mean,
just because you heard it.
I've heard it before.
There's all sorts
I'm
of
gonna
reasons.
get my coat. Tell them the story.
I like growing up.
Grab the grinder and me another beer, will you?
Like growing up as a little kid, I've always like seen stuff. So what really triggered it is I lived actually right over on 298 by Crossroads Bar.
Okay.
Right on the bend, and me and my brother were probably 7, 8 years old. And my parents went out down the road to the Williams Bar to have a couple beers. So my cousin was watching us. So we're just hanging out in the living room.
This is when Williams is open, so this is a while ago.
Yeah, this is a while ago, yeah. So we're just hanging out, like me and my brother listening to music in the living room and stuff. And then for some reason, he's my twin brother. I'm 2 minutes older than him. So
that's a whole nother...
That's a whole
That's a whole...
thing.
Yeah, that roll right there.
Exactly, you know. So we're just hanging out in the living room, listening to music, and then we both get a feeling to like go over and look out the window to see if our parents were home. So we both go run over to the window at the same time. We pop the blind down. So we're just looking through the one bit of shade, and down below, there's like 2 foot below us, there's this guy, and he's completely red, like 110% glowing, translucent red.
Jeez. Okay.
He's sitting there staring like he knew we were going to look out the window at us, or at him. So we pop the window down. He's like this, looking right up at us. All red. He's got an old flannel hat on, like Grumpy Old Men. I'm not sure if you ever seen the movie. But it's like the old flannel caps with like the earmuffs that hang down around.
Okay, like a Yukon hat.
Yeah, yep. And all old flannel, like hunting clothes and all this stuff. And he's got a baby deer on his shoulder, dead, hanging right here. And it's pouring blood all over our driveway. And you could see right through this guy. It's the craziest thing. And then there's 2 headlights shining on him in the driveway. Like there's a car sitting there, but there's no car. You can just see 2 headlights, and you can see the tree right through in the middle of the headlights. Like there was no car there, but there's 2 headlights shining on him. And he's just sitting there. I'm telling you, the most evil thing I'll ever see. That's why I tell people, I'm like, chances are when I go out to do this, I'm never going to see anything as bad as I seen when I was younger with my brother, so.
And they say, as a child, and I don't know if it's like calcifying your pineal gland through over time or what it is, but you definitely as a child have a better attachment to whatever the spirit realm.
Yeah, you're way more open.
I don't know if it's imagination. I think it's more than imagination. I think imaginations are like dull down word of what it really is.
Yeah, you're just more open to it. It's kind of like that sound where they make you hear like that squeaking or squealing sound. If you're like 20 or under, you can hear it. But if you're like above a certain age, if you're above a certain age, you can't hear it. It's like I've had just
No.
I'm telling you, yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah.
There's no noise I can't. There's not a noise in the world I can't hear.
I'm telling you, your
Play
ears
it.
as
Play
you
it.
grow older.
I hear it. Yep.
You
You must be playing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
you would tell me you heard it even if you didn't. That's how you are.
I hear it, trust.
So you're twins. So that's like again, that's a whole nother spiritual thing. That would I feel like.
Yeah, especially, to see something like that at the same time. That's why I've always questioned. I'm like, did we really see it? Or was it like somehow in our heads, like somehow we're connected, like it's crazy. As you said, it's a whole new
I believe even every hallucination is truly real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and especially as somebody who's experimented with hallucinogens, I know that when I fucking thought I fucking saw, I truly thought was real.
Yep.
So, to the people who are, in mental wards or, classified as insane, I always truly wonder, is it,
there's really something there,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only person I think truly is insane is a person who would fabricate hallucinations.
Yeah. Yep.
like if someone, I don't believe the person who's, ripping their hair out because they see some fucking something following them is doing that for a nice comfy padded room.
Yep. Exactly. And you don't know what it boils down to, if it's like a chemical imbalance or something, or if it's really something there.
If it's a spiritual punishment from another, because I believe in literally every aspect of spirituality. I just don't believe we can perceive any notion of the rules or the lineup of how it is,
or what happens, exactly.
Or any of it, or what is right and what is wrong, and what is not right or wrong, but what is the truth, or
it all comes back down to belief,
again, that's why I say I believe in belief. I believe the Muslim that dies, whatever, because my perception of DMT is when you're born and when you die, your body floods yourself with it. So when I experienced that high, I'm assuming what I perceived at it was my idea of what the fuck was going to happen when I passed.
Yeah.
And I believe that, if you spend your whole life believing, and I don't know everybody's individual belief structures, but you believe you're going to fucking rise up and then the fucking gates. I believe that is what.
That's what's going to happen, Yep.
If you, and then if you believe you're a fucking piece of shit, and you're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you what. From everything we've been doing lately, it's hard to say what line you're on, really.
Yeah.
And I also believe heaven or hell is a matter of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'll tell you something for sure, though.
what's that?
They go say hell a lot more than they say heaven. So you better have a fucking nice ticket to get in.
Do they ever say heaven?
No, not really.
Yeah, the one did say
They
God.
did,
They say
yeah.
God sometimes.
I mean, they would all say God.
No, they don't all say God.
No.
You hear Satan, demon.
You hear devil, Satan, demon, all
90%
that.
of the time. 90% of
That's
the
what I
time.
said.
See, I believe the devil and God are one and the same.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm telling you right now, they ain't twins. They ain't twins. I'm telling you.
No.
No, they're fucking. I don't know. I don't even know what my thoughts are on it. I feel like you die and you get put in a box and you decay. That's my look at it.
You think the perception just ends?
I feel like you overplay your life.
You just keep repeating?
Yeah,
I've had that thought.
you're just stuck in a loop.
I've had that thought.
There's like
One of the reasons I try so hard to have an extravagant life.
I
It's
believe
like,
more in dimensions. Like that's happening in a different dimension right now. Like fucking split time. There's like 6 different dimensions all happening at once, but not at the same time, and just gets replayed.
I don't believe in time. It's
Well, you
always
gotta-
now.
Okay, I like that.
It's the name of the
You
podcast.
gotta believe in time.
There you go.
The wall on the wall. The clock on the wall ticks. I'm telling you, there's time.
It's different in every space.
No.
Yeah.
Here in California, it's a completely different time, but it's still. I call somebody right now.
He's picking up.
They're picking up the phone.
Yep.
They answering,
They're
Doesn't
picking up.
matter, yeah.
and that's why I only believe in now.
Mhm.
I in like the way past gets distorted, even in the human mind. Like you know what I'm saying, it makes me sometimes confused on what is real and what isn't, because like our memories are so flaky. But I feel like we're getting a little off topic,
Yeah,
going a
it's
little
all good,
more
man.
universal.
I feel like it's all the same, right? Like
I feel like it is one and the same.
everything's like colliding to, feeding off everything.
And that's why I also don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. I've had too many so-called coincidences to now believe in them. Just from everything just even the past couple of years.
I feel like I've cheated spirituality wise, because like I've never really followed anything, but when times came tough, I was like, don't let this happen this way.
Yep.
And it's worked out for the better for me usually.
That's that Kyle kid that got affected yesterday, got his knee
Got
taken
his
out.
knee,
Same thing with him. On the way to that village, this was like last year, we were going to church there, and I was like, what's your belief on God? And, and I was like, I try not to believe in any of that now and all this stuff. And then we get into the church and all sorts of stuff starts happening. He goes up to the old pew where there's an old Bible and all this stuff. And all these buildings haven't been gone in like 10 years. So there's all sorts of shit already trapped in there. But he goes up and he's like a wicked nice guy, would never get mad or anything. He starts getting really agitated. Then his hand starts burning because he's at the pew putting his hand on the Bible that's still up there. Says his hand starts burning. He's losing his mind. He goes outside to like clear everything off of him. And me and my buddy Mike are there, and he starts praying. And we're just like, me and him were just like laughing, smiling, because like, see, on the way here, you said you didn't know what you believe. Now you're out here praying right now.
I mean, I feel like we're all gullible and kind of like,
Not this guy.
yeah, whatever, love.
Yeah,
I'm a
see.
trickster, dude.
I feel
I'll
like-
tell you what you want to hear.
I feel like at the end of the day, like, even the smartest man's like, just in case.
Yep, just in case, exactly.
Like, hey, big dog, not sure. You understand why I'm not sure, right? You get my confusion. And he's like, if you're definitely who you think you are, who I think you are, you're gonna be like, I understand him. I didn't believe. It's like I'm an independent rapper.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a lot of disbelief I deal with.
No, for sure. I'm right with you on your beliefs too.
So, and that actually was going to be my next question. Like, what do you follow any belief system? Do you have any defined?
Not really. Like, I believe in a God and like the Jesus Christ and all that. I don't go to church every Sunday, but I believe enough to believe that there's something there that's out there protecting me, watching over me, and when I'm just as skeptical on the afterlife, especially now with what I'm doing, do you pass out, like these spirits I'm talking to, like I said, they might not be human, and if they are, like, you know, why did they choose to stay? And you know, that's my biggest thing is why are you still here? If you know, if there is a heaven or a hell, why didn't you automatically go there? You know,
I believe we kind of get a choice to linger because we aren't. I believe we're all spirits still lingering.
yeah.
In fear of not unknowing what the fuck would happen next.
No, that's a very good point. You know, maybe they're just hesitant. You know, at the time, if there is a choice, you know, they're just hesitant and not sure. And like I said, unfinished business, or maybe you pass away and there's a loved one there, and you want to linger around them and you know stay with them, maybe protect them.
I think it's a balance of people loving their evils. You know what I'm saying? Like, like say, like, you know, something you love is still on this earth that could never possibly be in your fathom of heaven.
Yep.
So you stay here with it.
That's cute. But what happens when you love nothing?
Well, that's just you.
Then, and that's where I come on that, like, one person's perception of heaven can't be the same as somebody else's.
No, not at all. Same thing with the views on like your gods and all this. You know.
Yeah.
I just view there's something there and it's watching over me, and especially since I'm out trying to help, you know, any of these spirits that maybe did stick around, you know, or they, you know, they stayed and they're like, oh, I'll never be able to get into heaven now, you know, I'm stuck here, and I just go these places, you know, I'm like, Jesus will, you know, like, you're allowed back into heaven, you know, and I tried doing that, and I asked God and, you know, Jesus Christ to open a light and let them through and stuff, and when you do, like, craziest stuff with all your equipment and all this will happen, so it's like, I have to believe I'm doing something, you know, good.
No.
And then again, I get told the other night at Split Rock, I was doing it, and I got, Brian, please stop, you know, just like that. So it's like,
you're touching that spirit.
You know,
What if it's also, you know, you're pulling, like back what I said is that, you know, let's say there's two spirits stuck in limbo that one's, you know, all right, I'm going to use me and my grandmother. Say we're both stuck in limbo due to her fear of knowing that I in my perception, my grandma's going to heaven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know whose grandma's not going to heaven.
Exactly.
Mine's going to be there.
Yeah.
If I make it there, is it 50-50?
Yep.
We will figure it out on the way there. So I like to believe, you know, what if it's that person seeing their other one get pulled to that, you know, to Jesus or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, Brian, fuck, dude, that was grandma.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to show grandma a lot.
That's a good point, too, you know. That's a very good point. And that's how I view is like, for that to happen, I feel like one would have to, you know, they just know they're going to hell, or they're not going, like you said, to the same place where they're going, and they try to linger around to, you know, they know that's not going to happen in heaven or hell. They're never going to see the spirit.
I personally, myself, I pray every night.
Mm-hmm.
Not traditional. I don't get on the hands and knees and fucking blow.
Yep.
But, you know, I mentally in my mind before I lay,
Pray.
I'm thankful for everything I have.
Yep.
And, you know, hope, you know, I got family with a lot of drug issues.
Yep.
So I kind of, and that shit's all out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't control any of it.
Yep.
So I just,
Ask for a little help.
I ask from whatever universal thing that has guided me to this point in my life to where I'm able to, you know, sit down and have dope conversations and hopefully spread, you know, your knowledge to the world, to the rest of the world, and maybe encourage more people to just
go out and hunt.
Hunt the ghosts.
Yeah, hunt the ghosts.
Get them all. No, I'm just kidding.
Careful what you wish for, you know?
Now, would you ever get, like, if it was possible, would you ever get a box to capture
What do you mean?
evil spirits? Like Ghostbuster style.
Like the Dybbuk box. They have
is that
those.
what that was called?
They're Dybbuk boxes and stuff. People sell them on eBay. I tell everyone, I'm like, you stay right away from them because 90% of them might be fake, but you might get the one that's real. And, like...
then what do you do with it?
If you watch...
You're fucked.
Ghost Adventures, he owns, the guy Zach Bagans owns a museum, and he collects all these crazy artifacts from around the world, like Charlie Manson's teeth.
What do they call it in Ghostbusters, the box they use? Sorry to fucking...
No, I just said it like 2 days ago too, because we just watched it.
It's,
we just watched
it's
it the
definitely
other
not
day.
Dybbuk box. But
No, it's not Dybbuk box. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Portal? Do they call it the portal?
No, I forget what it's.
Either way, I don't mean to interrupt your story. If you can remember
Maybe
where you're
it's
at.
Proton or I don't know what the hell it is. I'm sorry, I forgot what we were talking about.
Museum Divot Box.
Okay, yeah, the Dybbuk box. So, the original Dybbuk box that he has it was made by a Holocaust survivor who, like, was in so much suffering and pain. They just made this box and they almost, like, prayed into it every night and all this. And it got such strong, like, religious, power, energy from it. And Dybbuk boxes are said to contain the Dybbuk, which is, like, a really bad negative entity. And the people trap it in this box.
I've never even heard of this phrase. Dybbuk?
Dybbuk. It's
D-I-B, like, or
it's
D?
D-Y-B-U-K. Dybbuk.
Okay.
It's not from like American belief. It's like Muslim belief, or it's every nation, whatever country has their own beliefs. But those are a big thing around right now. Is those Dybbuk boxes, and
I got a strong pagan following, so
yeah, do you?
That's how I define them. I don't,
Yep.
I probably got one super Christian who's my really good friend, and actually like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm sorry. But back to the museum.
Oh yeah, so he's got that Dybbuk box there, and like I said, they always say, like, if you open it, even if you come in contact with it, if you touch it or anything, chances are you're gonna have something really bad happen to you, or obviously you could die from it. So like I said, a lot of people like sell fake ones on eBay, and people are buying. I get asked all the time, like, would you buy a Dybbuk box off there or a haunted doll? And I'm like, no, because you don't know which one's going to be real, and it's going to come back and it's going to attach itself to you.
And irrelevant to buying a fake, you don't want a real.
You don't want a real, yeah. There's another doll there called Robert the Doll that he has there, and this lady, there's certain dolls there, like if you take a picture without asking, bad things will happen to you. And there's this lady that came back and she was apologizing because she got in 3 car accidents within a week, and she swore that it was because she went and took a picture with the doll or said some derogatory comment to the doll, and people don't believe it's real. And then
if you knew my driving history, you'd think I took a picture of that doll, dude.
Yeah,
I wonder what.
Doll in your trunk.
Yeah, I'm wondering what fucking artifact I fucked up. Because my
right?
driving history sucks.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, just bad events like that will happen. Like, I don't mess with the Ouija boards either. And my buddy says the same thing. He's like, well, your spirit box is kind of similar, but like, I'm not inviting the spirit to come in and move my hands with me on a board, like.
True. You're giving it a different entity.
Yeah, yep. Different energies and shit to use, but like, still they're probably using my energy just like they would on a Ouija board, So it's like,
I like to believe in what you're saying, honestly. The fact that as soon as you said it, I understood it. I believe that like I like to tell them, like, my car is a living entity.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, irrelevant to how I perceive it, like, that thing fucking fires up, moves, runs.
Yeah, for sure.
Machines are just as much as living things as we are.
Yeah.
And that's, again, back to my, like, how atoms are constantly moving. Like, what really makes the difference between a living entity full of atoms and a item full of atoms?
Yep. It's pretty much emotion, really, like machines and stuff. Unless they somehow could wire them to have some kind of emotion or something, but that's like the only difference I see. But same thing, it's still, doing the same thing. It's moving, it's doing the same stuff you would in everyday life, like you're saying with the atoms. So
yeah, it's just a collection of atoms still moving around. And like, I do believe that, just the way you say it, a Ouija board to me feels like you're letting them directly to you.
Yeah.
Instead of giving them a different portal.
A whole different platform. And like,
yeah, it's a platform. That's the word I was looking for, platform.
And like, you hold those, or you can set them down when you're using them. And a lot of times, if you do hold them, you'll get a lot more stuff out of it. So like, I believe they are using your energy, but
I believe human, any living living entity has more connection to the spiritual realm, because I feel like at a certain point, this whole world's just going to be leftover fucking shit in trees.
Yeah.
We'll just call it that. Mm-hmm. Leftover vegetation in old laptops.
Yeah. Just fucking looks like everything's abandoned. And yeah, I mean, there's always, I tell everyone, but if you are going to go out and ghost hunt, it's cool to go out once and, see if it's real and all this. But if you start going out like we do, like every day or every week and multiple times, like, just be careful, because once you get into this world, it's like you're not really getting out of it.
No, Pandora don't go back in the box.
Yeah, you're not. That's exactly the right phrase to use. You get into it, just beware, because like stuff could follow you around for the rest of your life. You don't know. You know, my buddy my lead investigator of our team,
That's not good.
he's had two attachments since he's been doing it. One at Split Rock, and he just had another one recently. It's actually like these incubus and succubus spirits. They're really bad, like sexual demons, and they'll come and have sex with you, or like just make you think about sexual intentions like all the time.
Decent.
I fear I deal with
Yeah.
succubus. I love my girlfriend to death, but bitches get me
Little
tripping
guy goes
sometimes.
coming in
He's
your
like, say
dreams,
louder
sucking
for the
your
crowd.
He's just-
Yeah, but he just
Jesus.
got a recording the other day, and it's like it's a girl comes through, and she's like, I just want to fuck, just like that, you know. And he's like, and I noticed like the past month or so, like he's just been off. So I told him the other day, I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on with you, man. You're like, you're acting different. You're changing. We used to go out hunting all the time. You're like barely ever out and stuff now. And then when he came out last night, he's like, dude, you know, like until you said that, I really wasn't realizing what was going on. You know, he's like, I think it's that affecting me.
I feel like the succubus energy in life is like, I believe like, and I don't want to even say I believe this because it's open for interpretation, but like there is a succubus.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you know, like just one entity, let's just call it. And I believe it's stronger than ever. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like porn used to be hard to find. So
Yeah,
jerking
right?
off isn't like jerking off must be crazy for kids nowadays.
Yeah.
'Cause I know it is for me as an adult.
Yeah.
It's easier.
And it's just everywhere now.
Yeah, dude,
you know?
right on your hand. You got it right in your phone. You're just boop boop.
Yeah.
You know. So and I feel like the desire to do that
Yeah.
is that succubus because it's not, or like you know adultery or shit like that.
Yeah.
It's all
the
the succubus,
intention.
this
That's a
energy.
motherfucking sin.
That's a motherfucking sin. I know. Yeah, and I
You
get
look
that.
at like all the OnlyFans and all that stuff now. None of that was
And,
around, you know. It's
Yeah,
just,
the power that even has such a pull now is
Yeah.
I feel like
you can quit your job and stay home if you're
Just-
a good-looking girl. You know, it's just like holy cow.
I have a few homegirls who I've seen the change in their behavior, and it's like, damn, it's just really just because and I try not to shame
Yeah.
because I think that's what gives evil is when like you know
Yep.
we've
The
made
bad karma.
we've made prostitution evil.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't believe there's any real evil in sex trade
Yeah.
except the way it's deemed nowadays. Like in cultures that allow it, it's quite natural and
Yeah. There's no problems or anything. with
yeah,
it.
they don't have the you know the pimp issues and the fucking
The
the
diseases.
diseases because
Yeah.
every single girl gets tested weekly and it's just it's a respectable business. It's like in I'll probably get shamed for dog fighting. Actually, have you ever heard about dog fighting in
Yeah.
other cultures? How they do it?
Like
Like
not in other cultures, just here. Yeah.
not how like Mike Vick fucking dog fighting
Yeah.
is. In other cultures, dog fighters, the dogs that fight are treated better than their trainers. Like
Yeah.
the man that owns that dog, like the dog fighting's way different too. And this is all hearsay again on my end.
You've seen it.
I've never seen it. I've seen hood dog fighting because I've saved a few fucking pit bulls in my day.
Yeah.
But irrelevant to that is that like, and I'll know where I was leading off in the original point of this, but they when they fight the dogs, they let the dogs like go at it and then come back. Like they retreat when they retreat. They don't fight the dogs to the
Fight
death.
them to death,
As soon
yeah.
as a dog squeals or retreats, they pull it back. But I forgot my point on that. Is on another podcast I watched.
He's like dog fighting super cool.
Dog fighting's the shit.
That's all I got out of
Yeah,
it.
take everything out of this.
Got
out of
me
context.
interested.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, I honestly feel like I've covered all the notes that I could think of to ask.
Yeah.
You know, until I do really hope to go ghost hunting with
Oh,
you.
anytime, man. We can go anytime.
I really do hope to go soon because it's something I would like to get firsthand so I can bring back to people that like. I like to joke. I don't bullshit. I'll tell people how it is.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, I don't know.
No, you gotta watch Siege over here.
Yeah. He tells me though he goes home and sleeps like a baby.
Yeah.
I do. Nothing bothers me.
Yeah, he's been getting pretty bothered the past couple nights.
Yeah, but I go home and sleep.
Yeah.
I literally have a mirror that like looks at me too. While
My
I'm
buddy
sleeping.
left him in
That
the
shit don't
train
bother me.
station last night.
Let me tell the story.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's bring it up.
Jesus Christ, dude! I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay.
I was in this train station by myself. Listen, I don't like being by myself regardless.
I'm scared of the dark too. It's all good.
I don't care where we are. Don't leave me alone, all right? You know? We just got over this big conversation that we should be in twos, and they leave me alone. I'm not about that life, but...
Wow. Mid story.
That's $250.
That's $250 at least. Okay.
So I'm like, there's a bench that lays across to the door. So basically, the door's right here, and I'm on the bench, and the cameras are pointing at me. Well, what I thought was breathing easily could have been the air coming through the doors, but it spooked me at the time to the point where I was like, "Oh fuck this! I'm getting out of here." At minute 30 by myself.
Okay.
So that's what he was trying to tell you.
Just like my other buddies, where something happens and they're like, "Oh fuck, I'm out of here." Then the next day they're like, I don't know, man. It could have been this. You know, it's like, well, you were pretty damn sure that night of what was going on because you got the fuck out of there.
I'm a believer, definitely.
Now, do you ever think that you're kind of like gassing yourself, and it might be? And I hate to, I hate to use this word because once I figured out what this word is, I feared I have it. Do you ever think it's delusion?
I mean,
Could be.
I mean, I guess, but like I said, when I was younger, for me and my brother to both see the shit we have, and like that wasn't the only time. Like growing up throughout our whole childhood, we were in houses where different shit was always happening. My buddy TJ Atkins is a big guy when we were kids, you know, we're not scared of nothing, and we're like, yeah, when you come spend the night at our house, we have spirits that like walk around. They'll move the dining room chairs downstairs, and you'll hear them walking through the hallways upstairs. And the first night he was there, man, he's sleeping the night, and he's waking up in the middle of the night. What the hell is that? I'm like, that's the footsteps. I'm telling you, like, this place is haunted as shit. I'm not joking around. Like, I'm a kid at the time. I got no other choice but to live here.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, this is what you're gonna experience. And he's Mr. Big Bad, not scared of anything, and he's shitting his pants in the room. You know, it's just like stuff like that's always happened throughout my whole life. Different houses. Right now, like I said, that thing poltergeisted off my table a couple weeks ago, and then last weekend I was up in Ep.8 closing my aunt's camp down, and my roommate Josh, when I got home, he's like, dude, the craziest thing happened. He's like, we thought you came home earlier and you were all pissed off. We heard the doors slam really loud, and they came out there like see what the hell my problem was, and I was up in Ep.8. There was nobody at the house.
Oh.
You know, so
it could have been a draft. Though.
Yeah, it could have been a draft.
I mean, I'm out here like that.
It's when I do these, I'm kind of like in and out of focus of what's actually going on, but I legit think this is like one of my best podcasts yet.
Jesus Christ, that's embarrassing.
I fully get to listen to this when I edit it.
Nice, yeah.
Because like I'm kind of like trying to focus on hosting and just like keeping
yeah.
no lulls.
Mm-hmm.
But this felt good, man. This is a good fucking
for
episode.
sure.
I'm excited.
He asked me to come. I was like, dude, for sure. I got all the time in the world, you know.
Plug your shit one more time, just so everybody knows like who you are and what you do and where you're at.
Brian Longden, right with Underworld Ghost Hunters. You can find us right on Facebook, and we also got another group called One Soul Paranormal that you could follow too. So.
And I'll put little like fucking links up.
Yeah,
and shit
definitely.
For this and
we're right
everything.
on Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a Snapchat going. Lately, when we go out, I just snap like on my own personal page. I've been putting up different snaps for everybody to watch.
Okay.
Just different clips from like the recorders and all that. You know, but I mean, we go out all the time, so you're more than welcome to come out.
I'm
whenever
gonna come out. I'm I'm not skeptic. I'm scared. If I'm gonna say anything, I'm not scared.
Let me tell you this. The other night we were at Split Rock, my buddy Don Casiba come up there, and he made the walk up the hill with no flashlight because his phone died. So he's like, man, I hope they're really up there when he gets there. So he comes up and we hear him. I turn the spirit box on. He's like, you're gonna turn that on right now? I'm like, yeah, man, we're in here investigating, you know, full on. He was there probably 15, 20 minutes. He's like, dude, I gotta get the hell out of here. So I give him my flashlight. He's like, all right, guys, we'll see you later, you know. And he walks out casually out of the crusher, and we're in the pitch black and quiet, so you can hear everything. All of a sudden I hear like and I look out and I see the flashlight. I gave him like the beam of the light just going up in the trees because he's just running. He's running out of the crusher. So I messaged him and I was like, man, you're running like a damn protester out of Foot Locker, you know? Like, yeah. And he's like, oh, you saw me? Damn it, I can't believe you saw me. And I was like, yeah, you know, he took off running, and we could hear it clear as day. We're all on camera, just dying laughing, you know? So, like, I understand the whole scared part, you know? I hope every single person comes out and, like, can have at least one experience to make up your mind. And if you believe, and if you want to go again, or, You know, like that Kyle kid that got his knee kicked out last night. He's going to the hospital first thing in the morning. You know, and like we call him in our group chat.
If I was him, I'd be like, yo, I want to see the footage from that night.
Yeah.
Who the fuck did you have kick my knee out?
Yeah. No, he was by himself.
Do I look like Tanya Harding?
CJ was right there across from him too when it happened.
Yeah.
He was by himself over there, and like he started asking for it because nothing was happening. You know, so he's like, "Yeah, show me you're here," and you know, you start like instigating shit. That's when stuff's gonna happen. You know, and so it's just like
I never instigate anything out of my control.
Yeah. Like even when I go into places and I'm like trying to free the spirits and stuff, like I'm pressing my luck. You know, they tell me all the time. I had one that because my nickname's B Short, so they'll say. I had a girl come through the other night. She's like, "Be short, shortness, I shall come for you." You know, like shit like that. And it's like, Bakes is right there, and he's like, "Holy fuck, man, I'd be scared out of my pants." You know, fucking, if that was me. You know, I'm like, I learned to deal with it now. Just I've been doing it so long, and I'm telling you, every time I come out, like 5-10 times, they'll say my name. They've started saying CJ's name now.
Oh yeah.
They'll say his Xbox name. They'll call you by whatever nicknames, like shortness. My buddy Cheetah, Keith Perigo, he's the only one that would call me by that.
I have a lot of aliases, and now I'm just kind of excited. What's the first alias they're gonna drop me by?
Yeah.
So comment below.
Yeah, for real.
Whoever gets it right, I get $500. $500 if anybody gets it right for what's the first alias that they call me.
I might even throw in a little ghost gear on that one.
Yeah.
I say vintage.
You think vintage is the first one?
Yeah.
And you know, if that is it, you get the
I'm pressing my luck.
He said it before you guys. He was here. Maybe you
It's a
guys.
free intro. You know.
Yeah.
I think it was vintage. I really hope it is.
You know, here first.
I feel like that's I think they're gonna be like, hey James.
Definitely. Seriously, I've heard it say Carlisle. Who's saying fucking Carlisle? No one. It goes Carlisle, Michael. This is actually 3 nights ago, right?
Tell them about this because this is mind blowing.
Yeah,
really.
tell me
It goes Carlisle, Michael. Michael's my uncle that just passed away, and it goes that's his uncle, just like that. And then before that, I'm upstairs in the tavern.
The tavern. Yeah.
I'm upstairs in the tavern, and I feel something tug on my leg. And Short is going through this recording of the speaker box, and the speaker goes, "Grab his leg."
Yeah, 'cause
literally on before anything, before I grab my leg or anything, because this is a rerun of the fucking spear box, and it goes, "Grab his leg," and as he's about to get to that part, it fucking grabs my leg, and he goes, "Oh, come down here, listen to this."
it was funny because he was downstairs when I was running the spirit box, and we didn't hear it. But I always run the recorder, and I'll do like a few minute session, and I'll stop and I'll play it back because you'll hear so much more in that recorder than you miss when the spirit box is sweeping. And in between that time it took for me to do that and record or review, he was already upstairs messing around. So it's like it was a female. She was like, "Grab his leg," like that. And I was like, "Dude, you just had your leg pulled out," you know.
So I was leaving the train station. I told you the train station part. So I called Short because I was spooked at the point, and I hate being alone. So I was like, "Short, where are you? I need to meet up with you right now." Right. So I meet up when we just got into the schoolhouse. Like, I'm not telling you how we got in. We just got into it, and fuck.
We were in it.
No, we're in it. So so all that's happening, and Baker goes, "Who's following CJ around?" And then Michael comes up, and then it says Michael again, and then it says Michael again. And I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! Like, why the fuck are you following me around?" Well, my uncle Flapper, which is his name, Uncle Flapper, his nickname, he had a bunch of shrine of 666 stuff. Anytime he got something 666, he'd put it on his wall. So I'm like, dude, this guy's in hell. Like, don't be following me around. You're in hell, because that's how you are. So I was, at that point, I was like, dude, it's a little off-putting. But there's like, in my head, I'm kind of a skeptic too, because there's Mike is the other guy there, and he was asking for Mike while he was in the train station. And there's a lot of things that could have led up, but it was a coincidence because we don't believe in coincidence.
We don't believe it.
Well, it's saying Baker going, "Who's following CJ around?" and then it going Michael. Like, that could be a coincidence, or it's like, "Hey, this motherfucker's around me, and I don't want you around me." You know what I mean? Like, rest your soul. I hope you're rather trapped than in hell.
Where's his shrine at?
I don't fucking know.
You got to take down the shrine, maybe.
I'm just not a fan. I don't even like telling people that.
Yeah, right.
Well, you just told the world.
I'm not a fan of that. You know.
Find a shrine.
Dude, I'm not finding his fucking
He's
shrine.
like,
Find the shrine.
Shrine's finding his camper and hope
You
the
think it
camper's
rhymes for
fucking
no reason? You think
Yeah.
find the shrine rhymes for no goddamn... It's
Hashtag
not a
find the
coincidence.
shrine. All right?
Hashtag find the shrine.
Yeah.
Whoever
And it
finds the
rhymes.
shrine, I'll give you $500. You know? Because that shit's fucking hopefully burnt. I hope we didn't keep that.
Yeah, man. I got a lot of, I got dead relatives. I got a lot of demons, bad things. I'm still trying to wish I never did.
Yep.
Some things I don't even know if I did.
You did them, kid.
I did it.
You think I did it?
You did them, kid.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, the one thing I had to say, though, like, this is definitely not for the weak-hearted, but don't be scared, because that's what they feed off of. Like, don't be scared.
I can't control fear. I can only overcome it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I will go in with fear and walk out hopefully less afraid.
I feel like I walked into that schoolhouse with my own negative energy that it fed off of it.
Again, fears, like I said, it's something you can't control. You can only try to overcome it. Like everything I've ever done in my entire life that has been either something I've grown to love now or something that I'll always remember. I was in fear going into. From fucking riding that stupid scooter I broke my fucking shoulder on, to every show I've ever done, to this podcast today.
Stop being scared all the time. That's all I'm saying.
I'm never not going to be scared, but I'll never let it stop me.
Yeah, say you just push right through it.
Fear is irrelevant to what I'm going to do or not going to do. I mean, we're here today. I've done every show I've ever done. Done this podcast. I've done every drug I've ever done in fear. There's nothing I've never went into without having a slight rational fear or irrational fear.
Right.
Yeah, when something happens, like if you do get scared there, you just stand your ground. No matter what, stand your ground and just like tell yourself, like, stay focused, some people can't, but like
I ain't standing my ground alone.
I don't, I'm not trying to manifest anything opposite. Like, I don't think anything is gonna physically happen to me.
Yeah.
And again, it's more, my psychological balance is more my fear than like, pain.
I've had physical pulled backwards in a chair and.
Well, I mean, homie just had his knee got Tanya
I feel
Harding.
bad about that too, like.
But I'm not gonna go in like, oh, this shit ain't real.
Yeah.
So they're
definitely go in there like, okay, what's gonna happen?
So I don't think they're gonna, again, hopefully that's not the case. I don't think they're gonna fuck with me like they fucked with him, because they're just gonna be like, fear is subtle. And if I was a ghost, I would know the right ways to scare people. Just being like, yo, I'm a ghost. I'm here. What's up, guys? Yeah. Like, live today from Ghost World. Yep. It's your ghost. He's not gonna be a good host. Yep. He's gonna be like, yeah.
I've had spirits come through joking around too, just like trying to mess with you. They're like, it's a ghost, like that, just to the recorders, shit like that. They're just messing with you, trying to scare you.
That's just a lazy ghost. He's not creative.
Yeah. He's not like real evil. He's just joking around.
So you got my money?
I mean, he could be evil, but he's just not. He's not creative.
Yeah. Like my buddy Ryan, we went to Rolling Hills, and my other buddy Bob. It was my first ghost hunt ever going up there. I brought them up, and Bob used to live in Minnesota and had a best friend that was like a psychic. So we end up going out to this ghost hunt, and the next day, like, we're in the basement of this Rolling Hills. It's a massive place. It's, like I said, it's an old TB place, old farmhouse or farm building, poorhouse, all that shit. So we're in the basement down there, and he's walking through, and he swore he got touched on his knee. So like stopped him, right in his spot, and he didn't go any further down in the basement. And the next day, I'm sitting with my buddy Ryan, who'd went, hanging out, just talking about everything that happened and stuff. My buddy Bob calls me, and he's like shook up on the phone. And he's like, I got to tell you something real right now. He's like, are you wearing your cross? And I was like, yeah, I haven't taken it off since I went. He's like, what about Ryan? And I asked Ryan. He's like, no. And he's like, dude, my median friend that lives in Minnesota didn't even know I went on this ghost hunt, and called him that morning to let him know that there's spirits following him around. That there was that when he went to this building, there was an old man that was with my buddy Bob, and when he went in, a little girl like viewed him as like a safe like almost like a father figure deal and followed him out of the asylum. So he said that the old man that was with him prior to this was either his grandfather who just passed like a month prior, or it was the little girl's grandpa that was going with him to make sure she made it out safe. And I'm like, what? You know, like I'd get this call like, what are you talking about? You know, and he's like, he also says that one of my friends got followed home by something, you know, bad, not evil, but like we'll play games and joke around with you and stuff, you know, the craziest shit. And like Ryan would have like weird shit would happen. Like he'd be in the bathroom, he'd hear something, and his sink had like his towel on it, you know, from when he gets out of the shower, and he'd open it up and his towel would be in his fucking toilet. You know, just shit like that, stupid shit. And
that's the way the universe fucks with me.
Yeah, you know, shit like that. And it's just like, he dismisses it, but it's like, you know, like, dude, it's hard to believe in the psychics, the mediums, all that stuff, whatever you believe. But this guy did not know that we went the night before, and he called, like, spot on with everything, you know? Like, Ryan was not wearing his cross. So I'm like, how the hell did he know one of us took our cross off? You know, and he's like, one of the spirits influencing him not to wear it. And I'm like, this is my first ghost hunt, so I'm like, you know, like, holy shit, I can't believe this guy even knew we went. And, you know, my buddy Bob had all sorts of shit happen at his house after this for weeks. And it was a little girl, like, playing games with him, trying to get his attention. He ended up saging to get her out of there.
So you wear a cross?
Yeah, I always wear a cross.
Do you think it conflicts with the pentagram?
This is just a band hat.
Yeah, no, but it's irrelevant to it being a band hat.
Yeah,
it still is the
I always
symbolism
thought
of.
that too.
You got fucking double negatives. What's going on with you right now?
I believe in balance, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And I hate to bring up the cliche of it, but
no,
yeah.
it really is. Yeah, I thought that when I got it too, but I don't know.
It's just a sick fucking hat.
It is. No, it's
I'm
a
an
sick
Avenged
hat.
Sevenfold fan, so it's like
I'm not
you know.
an anti-pentagram. I used to rock the heartogram as a kid all the
shit.
time, which is
Yep.
which any representation I feel like is it. I don't believe a star in a circle is
Yeah.
evil.
Well, see, like you ain't gonna catch me out there around no pentagrams or nothing. Like it's a cool hat, but it ain't gonna go anywhere past that, you know.
I'm with you.
But I feel like what you're saying. I'm wearing a cross and I'm got this on my head at the same time. You know, it's kind of a
Conflicting ideologies.
Exactly.
But also, I mean, but kind of you believe in spirituality things, so it's that.
I know good and bad both exist. You know?
I don't believe any, again, God or Satan or whatever higher power it is. I don't believe he cares what language you speak.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he cares if you say God, Allah, Jesus, whatever higher power you pray to. I don't think he's, if it does exist, it's gonna he's gonna care at the translation of what you call him. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think,
just like a universal. You know, as long as you do good.
Yeah, and I don't think the imagery or symbolism that you wear, you know, in theoretic, a Christian could feel offense to the Star of David.
Yeah,
you know,
and I don't get that. You know, like you all have your own beliefs, and like that's what you believe in. That's what's getting you through. You know, so why knock someone else's personal belief? You know, like you don't even know if that God's any different from your God or if it's the same God. You know, just like you're saying, it's a different translation. You know, so it's like
I know quite a few Satanists.
Yeah.
Who, from their belief systems, just sound like they call their God Satan. Mm-hmm. They almost believe in similar base structures to what I've heard the Christians believe in. Given they have also their bad rap too. Yeah. But I'm saying like, a Satanist heaven is hell.
Yeah, and that's mind blowing.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I can't never wrap my head around it. You know.
So it's like, what if you're like the nicest Satanist in the world, never sinned,
but you're still out there,
and now you're in this heaven?
Yeah,
that doesn't
you're
exist.
In hell. Yeah, no, that's you know, your buddy Fowler does the same thing. He's all about the devil and all this stuff, and like, I understand like
First
the music.
Of all, let me stop you real quick. We're definitely friends. I wouldn't go as far as buddies. I don't fucking flow that way.
Friend guy.
I don't flow that way, dude.
Again, like I said, I associate with a few people who literally define themselves as Satanists. I've caught me at we're just drinking one night. It's just me and them. I'm like, yo, what do you I like talking about fucking heavy shit. Like, what do you think happened? And they're like, I'm Satanist. So, I can't judge them like I judge my Catholic friends. Like,
no, but like I said, before everything. Careful what you wish for, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. And that's where I went back to my original statement. Like, just in case, I'm gonna go to the one that I've, the mainstream good one.
Yeah, the one that you know. It's like, I mean, you never know. It's just, it's nuts. But you would never catch me doing no 666 Satan worshiping or anything.
Well,
like that.
you just did it.
You just did it.
You just did it. I mean, what the hell? I go out all the time and do this crazy shit anyways. So who knows where I'm going? You know.
No one does till they get there.
Purgatory.
Pergies. I'll pop a couple pergies.
Yeah.
Chill there. No, but I do really have to piss. I think we got a great episode so far.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And
I'll come back anytime.
That you gotta piss.
Gang, huh?
Make sure you get that part in, then you had to piss and shit. That
What?
You gotta cut us early.
You don't.
You gotta cut us.
Yeah, we had so much more to say. Check that camera. See if that thing's still even rolling. That'd be dope if it was.
Hey man, if you want to do another one sometime, I'll come out.
Hour 15.
Still rolling.
Rolling.
Hit stop. Awesome. This is gonna be the easiest podcast. I finally got these down to. They used to take me about